So, considering we didn't manage to finish this last time, we're back to it. We gotta get through this. For those that missed when we were playing on Thursday night, let's take you on a quick tour of where we have managed to get to and what we've managed to get done. So, day one, we got through Congo Jungle and a chunk of Monkey Mines. Then on Thursday evening, we got through Monkey Mines, Vine Valley, cleared our way through Gorilla Glacier, and we broke into and cleared the majority of Kremkrock Industries. Now, we have 2 worlds left to clear before we can finish this game. Technically, we have beaten Kremkrock Industries, but the boss fight is sitting here because we keep dying out and having to restart from where I last saved, which was right before we defeated Boss Dum-Drum here, which is a non-issue. The stages immediately after this boss fight are where we were having a problem. Now, as to whether I'm going to do any better today, one can hope, but we will have to wait and see how that plays out, unfortunately. And I'll be blunt with all y'all right off the top here. Personally, I'm kind of concerned as to whether I'm going to do any better. Is the simple fact of I've been feeling tired since I woke up this morning. So there's a world in which this is still going to be an issue, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to just chew through the rest of this and be on our way to Mario 2. Because for those who may have forgotten, I have a list that I need to get through as per the donathon we did toward the end of this past year. Now, that list in particular has this game, Mario 2 is left, Final Fantasy 1 through 4, Hollow Knight 1, Hades 1, Little Nightmares 1, and Dark Souls 1 through 3 to get through. Not to mention the 12-hour stream, the cheap crowd control that you guys get to pick, that I need to put the poll up for at some point, the 12-hour stream that's due at some point, the voice-acted reading stream that's due at some point, and the karaoke stream that is also due at some point in the future. Yeah, I'm gonna be busy for a while, like I said. But as mentioned before, and I'm just gonna mention this at the beginning a couple times here so people don't miss it, because I know people don't always make it to the end of these. These donathon incentives are going to be worked on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Thursday, Friday, we will do other things. And occasionally on Saturdays, we will also push forward on donathon things, potentially. Thursdays are going to try to remain locked in as our general collab day. Fridays being just kind of a free play section. And Saturday being flex space going back and forth between the two. Because I know not everybody's going to be interested in seeing me working through the donathon stuff. So I want to make sure there's something for everybody. But with all that said, let's get this show on the road and actually get through this, shall we? There's probably going to be some immediate fumbles as I remember how to move properly since it's been a couple days. But ideally, with being a bit fresher than I was on Thursday night, we should do better overall. One more wave of enemies to go, and then we're done with this fight. There we go. This is why this fight's a non-issue. I figure get the fight out of the way during the ads, nobody misses anything. So honestly, you won't miss much with us getting through the first stage or so of this either, because we did this a dozen times Thursday. Yesterday was these Doom Dials as a palette cleanser, in case people were wondering why there was a change there. I was initially gonna do nothing but working on this stuff this week, but I could tell I was becoming frustrated. Not because of difficulty necessarily, but just because of being kind of locked into doing the same things. So that's why we made that change. Kind of vary things up a little bit. And it is worth noting that we are exactly a month away from my birthday now. So I may as well mention what the plan for the birthday stream is going to be, since my birthday is on a stream day. So as such, I will obviously be live. I do not have any plan for what the birthday stream is going to entail yet. That will be announced ideally here before too awful long, but I need to actually decide what I want to do for that. Because I only realized today that that was even going to be a viable option. Because, you know, I obviously don't want to skip out on any other things I would potentially be doing on my birthday. Because, you know, you gotta balance everything around. I missed the end, but that's fine. If I can just get through this stage in one go today, that would be phenomenal, honestly. Because that will go a long way towards getting us to the end of the game. We are going to be riding the Ragged Edge disaster here. Just gonna leave. We realized last time that we could do that, so I'm just gonna do that. Alright, first try. Down a Kong, but that's okay. For those wondering, yes, that stage was what was causing us all the problems last time. More or less. Like, there was a little bit of fumbling here, as we were only barely ever making it here. So we were, as such, in awful condition the, like, one time we made it here. Empty, please. Well, never mind. Same thing happened again in that vein, but it's okay. I don't want those bananas that badly. I'm assuming the TNT is just for helping deal with those guys if you were Diddy. It might not be. There might be something more to it than that. No, there is actually not a... Huh. Unless maybe I had to be specifically at the bottom there. What kind of challenge would that be there, Zeri? I also forgot that Donkey Kong actually has this down slam. I don't think it ever actually is useful. I don't know why I just stopped moving forward there. And I went through the edge of the platform. Well, that's fine. Ah, okay. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it to be fast. Wouldn't be much of a challenge if you got right through it, you know? Aha, it was on this side. That's why. This is gonna backfire on me at some point, isn't it? Nope, got it. Got the extra life. Makes sense, yeah. And that already is going to be tricky in terms of pose and everything. Not to mention fitting in all the detail. Oh, that was bad timing. Okay, progress. Here's the N. And I jumped for it at the wrong time, thinking I could jump again before we went too far. You'd think I would know better by now. That is one of the many things I have not yet decided I want to learn, apparently. Oh, absolutely. That's pretty much a given, if I'm honest. As soon as you have anything that's a new layer of complexity, there's going to be an amount of overthinking that's going to happen as you work through the process. That's just to be expected. The bright side, my death earlier was not in vain. I did get the letter and get to keep it, it seems. That works out in my favor, because I won't get baited to my death for it. Okay, there's a door here. Why? I mean, may as well. This is probably what the letter is. Yep, there it is. Alright. Extra life from getting all the letters. And a free barrel. Hooray. Okay, there's ground there. Yeah, I should have gotten rid of the barrel. Oh well, we made it out of the stage. Is this gonna be another minecart stage, or is this just in a mine? Okay, we got a snake spawner. Gonna have to give me a moment on that one. That's a lot of text to try to read through when the game's throwing everything and its mother at me. Okay, so you must be able to get past those barrels because there was an item underneath there. Not one I'm worried about getting, but I'll keep that in mind. Checkpoint already, okay. And yep, there it is. Eventually those snakes were going to get me. But thankfully, just immediately replaced. Everything is fine. Oh, there's a beaver spawner now. Look at that. Spawning everything. Oh, chomper spawner. Okay. Hate that. Hate that as a concept. Oh boy. This place is a nightmare. This place is a nightmare, and I wish to leave. I'm gonna assume we're almost out of here because these stages usually aren't that long. There we go. Yeah, you're better off, honestly. People are the source of most problems. We're stuck with them, but, you know. Okay, hang on. Let me put the flashing light warning back on screen, because this is going to cause some flickering, I am almost certain. There we go. Did a little bit of a bed hedge there. Because it looks like, yeah, the lights are going to flicker off, and I have to turn them back on by hitting those barrels. So if I time it right, it's going to end up flickering a bit, and that's less than ideal. It doesn't... Okay, no, they do matter a little bit. I was going to say, it almost seems like the lights don't matter, because I can tell where the ground is well enough without the lights, honestly. I don't know if you guys can see it at all, but I can see it. But only because of the highlights on the ground that they put there for how the ground looks, not because of being able to see the main ground. Yeah, exactly. If people are being a problem, well, those people are no longer your problem, because you can just ignore their existence and move on with your life. No one's entitled to you being there. Meanwhile, gravity is occasionally entitled to yanking me off of ledges, apparently, without me putting in any input to cause that to happen. Oh, didn't reach that. Which one would that be? Because there's a few I could think of for a situation like this. Okay, looks like I just need to jump up here. Goodbye, DK, it's fine. We'll get a new one later. I shouldn't have jumped for the barrel. I knew where the ground was. Yeah, I was gonna say, that still could be a lot of songs, because Gravity's come up a few times as just a title. There we go, got that light for a change. Not that it's gonna matter, the light's gonna go up before I get anywhere. The platform timing. Rid of you just so you don't drop nut on my head. I keep forgetting they jump when they get to the edges. Except when they're gonna bite you, because then they won't jump. God forbid they jump when you want them to jump. That would be what's commonly referred to as helpful, and that's just not a thing they do. Being helpful ain't a thing. Okay. Yeah, music I'm not that great with. Like, I'll probably recognize it, but that doesn't mean I'll recognize names or anything anyway. And a long time hearing a lot of songs that I never knew what they were or anything. Oh, okay, I do know that. I do know that one. At least I recognize that one. Need the lights that badly. I can see the bees, and that's all I need to know. Apparently I didn't get that letter. I don't know why I went back for it, because we didn't have any of the other letters anyway. Okay, ducking did not work for that situation. Understood. We got a barrel throwing orangutan up ahead somewhere. Oh, there he is. I hesitated because I expected him to throw again faster than that, and he was actually slow. But that's where the end is, so we know what we're getting into now. So that'll make getting through this a bit easier. Because I know what my limits are for what I need to deal with. So I know when sacrifices are worthy to make, and when sacrifices are a bad idea to make now. At least we're regaining some of our lives, thanks to the bananas. And I just need to not rush, because the lights don't matter. The lights are only there to fake you into thinking that they matter, so you jump to your death trying to turn the lights back on. Oh yeah, that's what it's there for. And I'm betting on a CRT screen, it probably would be harder to see those little bits where things are visible. So I probably have an unfair advantage with the screen size I'm working with here. There we go, we got our save point. Yes, yes, Candy. I will jump in the barrel to save this reality. Now, goodbye. I swear, after all the trouble we had getting through those first 2 stages on Thursday, somehow we're just flying right now, and I want to be happy, but I'm also wondering why it was such a problem on Thursday. I have to assume I was just out of it at that point. Like, as I mentioned earlier, I was already a little out before I even started that day, so it probably was just not in the cards from the word go. We still did decently that day. I didn't have a choice there. I was trying to do a rolling jump under the bee because I knew if I jumped vertically, I wasn't gonna make it. I should have just taken the sacrifice because we would have been able to just keep going anyway. I'm full of caffeine and ready to rumble today, so I should be much more aware of my surroundings today. You know, ignoring the armadillo that clobbered us a little bit ago, because I didn't notice him. Don't worry about that part. You can blame that on the fact that I forgot that they turn around so easily. Oh boy. Gotta go. There we go. I knew there was going to be a smaller platform at some point, so I saved the ability to fight back easier. Point. Now, no matter what happens, we're good. At least for the moment. Don't need that letter. We already left behind a letter, so just don't bait myself into death for it. Very good, very good. Yep, I was afraid of that. Diddy can't defeat those. He's too small. He has to roll into them to fight them. DK, however, can just defeat those straight up. You know, when the fact that your run button is the roll button doesn't just make you roll off a cliff trying to be able to run. I shouldn't have grabbed that barrel to begin with. But I reflexively went and grabbed the tag barrel because, like, ooh, I need that. Instead, I just wasted a life again. Well, we're in trouble, because now I'm probably just gonna get bumped off that ledge again. So I don't think I have enough... Oh no, I do have enough room to roll into him. Never mind, we're fine. I could have just avoided that death in the first place. Which would have avoided the other death, but, you know. Lessons get learned all the time. You want these bananas. There we go. Taking bad risks. I should have waited for him to be at the bottom instead of at the top. I know better. The thing is, my intent was to do the low roll, like roll down under it and then come back up. But I did not jump at the right time. So really, at the end of the day, it's a very good thing I got that extra life. This wouldn't have ended up going well. Though, at the end of the day, dying here doesn't matter because we got the save point. I really thought I could clear him. But anyway... Hey, look, we're right back here anyway. Joke's on you, game. All I did was give myself a new complement of lives. Sure, I have to go through the first part again, but the first part was honestly a cakewalk compared to what the rest of that looks like. Bye, Diddy. We did lose that handful of bananas I had left, though, because it resets you to 0 bananas when you have to continue from a save point. You know, mild downsides. Or DK a way to get through that, is I keep not getting that jump right, but that's fine. Diddy's the better jumper anyway. Just keep this barrel as a safety measure on hand. Yeah, breaks are important. I say as one who is bad about taking breaks. It's like even yesterday I was doing a lot of background things. Even if I didn't do any art or do any content, I was setting up a lot of plans for the future. You know, breaks look different for different people too, so. I did the thing again because I forget where they are, and sometimes I get to see them after I've already left the ground. Yeah, exactly. But it still takes more energy, so if you're, depending on how tired one is, you may not want to be burning energy planning. Especially doing detailed planning like I was. Exactly. Let's go ahead and swap in case there's another big guy up ahead. Yeah, see, if I didn't... So DK can't defeat large enemies when he's holding a barrel? Why? Okay, recovered it. Everything's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of very neat tricks you can do with this game because it gives you that grace I talk about in every platformer where you have a little bit of leeway after you leave a platform. So you can jump after leaving the ground. But only if you're rolling for the most part. If you just step off, it doesn't quite work. And they teach you that by making you do moves like that. And now they're teaching you barrel throwing, which is interesting to teach you this late in the game, considering we're in the second to last world of the game. Didn't need to hit him. Should have saved it for him, but I had enough room. There we go. Wait, really? Are we really going to the boss already? This place went quick. What do you got for me? This is useless information for me. Yeah, I figured that out the hard way, thanks. Clump being the guy with the military helmet. So what Cranky's actually meant to do is I think he tells you where hidden things are that you haven't done yet, which is not relevant to what we're doing. It's very useful if you're trying to go for 100%, but it's utterly useless to us. Okay, yeah, it is the boss fight, and we're just fighting Neki again, who spits big nuts at you and tries to kill you. And it's annoying to hit when he's really high up there. Especially when sometimes you just count as getting hit, even though the exact same position had a different result before. Like, the second one made sense because he was actively spitting at that point, but just, like, I don't know why I got hurt the first time there. Yes, spam all the shots. You're not gonna go low at any point, are you? I'm just gonna have to, like, dodge all of his attacks now instead of doing anything to kill him fast. This is just annoying. I don't think I can hide under him either. Yeah, because they do bounce backwards. There you go. Go low. This way it's easier to hit you. So apparently he just is immune until he finishes shooting now as well. I'm too busy trying to figure out why this is designed the way that it is to focus on moving properly here. Bear with me. There's going to be an unnecessary amount of death while I understand why they decided to waste the player's time with this fight the way it is. He's genuinely immune until he's done spitting, and you can't tell if he's done or not, because he doesn't shoot the same amount every time. So it's like, okay, do I just do this? Just keep hitting him until something works? That's not exactly great. Because your odds of getting hit on the rebound like that is a problem. But he loses now. So we're gonna definitely save so I don't have to do that fight again. There's Gangplank Galley in the last world. We're just gonna go back here and touch the save point and use Funky's flight to go there, though. So I don't have to do that fight ever again. Because we are guaranteed to run out of lives. I'm gonna tell you that one right now. Well, not guaranteed, but pretty guaranteed. Wait. Is this not a world? Is this... Oh, this is just the K.Rool fight. Never mind. Hang on. There's hope, then. If this is just purely the K.Rool fight. Are we really gonna end this quickly? Just gotta keep dodging him when he's charging. And wait for him to throw his crown, then bop him on the head. How he just summons the crown back like that is beyond me. Cannonballs? Yep, there goes Diddy. Suddenly is harder now. Yep, I misread that. I thought it was gonna bounce sooner than that. And there's the guaranteed game over I was talking about. Thing is, I don't know how many hits K.Rool takes. That's the only question mark I've got about that one. I just misread that entirely. What was I doing there? Part of me wants to just reset this right now because the odds of getting through this without getting hit again is not great. What's the matter, big man? You upset with me? Oh no. Get bonked. Okay, we're already back to cannonballs. Except I ran to the edge of the room too soon. I forgot that he has to get to the other side first. Then you can do that. This is where the two-hit nature of this game comes in to be a problem. Much like I was talking about with Sonic, it makes boss fights way more difficult than they would otherwise be because you have so much less room for error. Especially once you start getting into long fights like this. So I don't know how many hits he takes, but I have to assume it's a lot. Now he throws the crown. Now he gets bonked again. He's gonna jump to the other side. Now we wait here at the end. Reading you a look at book, K.Rool. Oh, he's got the cannonballs going back the other way now. He almost tricked me there. Now he's upset, jumping across. Now I assume there's gonna be a third set of cannonballs then. He keeps to the way he's been behaving. I fucked up because I actually didn't intend to move forward the way I did the first time, and then I overcompensated back and forth and got confused. Yeah, that's gonna just be a lot of waiting, and that's gonna be what's gonna get me killed there. Because I'm gonna lose patience and try to do something, and I'm gonna just get killed for it. This is a long fight. So buckle up for a lot of me throwing, because I'm tired of standing here and doing nothing. Problem is, he's immune until he throws the crown, I'm pretty sure. Because the crown will probably just hurt us if we try to jump on his head. I keep thinking that when the cannonball hits the ground, it's safe, that would make sense. It's just a cannonball just sitting there shouldn't be instant death, but it is. Well, I suppose on the bright side, this means that this isn't ending too fast. In some ways, it's gonna actually be a bit funny if this does end soon. Because that'll mean we started with like a 42-minute segment on the game. We did a full stream, and then we did another like 42-minute section for the game. Hang on. So, of course, there's a random itch in my ear while I'm trying to do something like this. It takes a lot of focus. There we go. Now that I can actually focus. You really only need to get past one cannonball. And then not be stupid about your timing with the crown. As long as you get past one cannonball per volley, you're golden for the rest of that volley. Yep. That's just tight enough that I hesitate the exact wrong way every time. Bonk. I swear at some point I'm gonna get screwed up by the fact that he charges so slow the first time. Like, I'm gonna get hit by that first charge because I expect him to go by faster and I'm gonna land on his back or something. Pretty much guaranteed. Oh no, he's mad. K.Rool so angry. Oh no. What am I going to do? I waited way too fucking long there. I did that thing again where I'm like, oh yeah, I have Diddy Kong speed. I'll be fine. Oh wait, I'm Donkey Kong. No. And then I get killed by the roll button again. I wasn't holding run for a moment there, or just to not be constantly putting pressure there with my finger. And then the roll button just went, oh, you wanted to roll into the cannonball, right? Which, you know, that's my fault for pressing the button, but, you know. It is weird that his crown just gets deleted and put back on his head when I hit him. Not really sure how that works. Oh, I fucked up again. I keep forgetting that he switches sides when he does that part. I threw that one away on purpose because I didn't want to go through the whole long thing and then die. Maybe because I only had one hit. Back to Funky. Off we go. Now imagine if you didn't touch the save point a second time after beating Neki. You'd have to keep fighting Neki every time you lost this fight. Wait enough times to get a game over. Just imagine how infuriating that would get. And And I'm betting most people ended up doing that because they probably didn't realize you could go back and forth like that with it just going back, touching the save point, and then using Funky to get there. Donkey Kong, why are you so bad at everything? Because he should have cleared that, but he's so fucking bulky. So slow. Because if anybody missed the memo, there is genuinely a significant speed difference between these two. So it really does matter who you're playing. Okay, now he's jumping. He's hopping mad. I jumped way too fucking early because I keep thinking he's not gonna laze about. But he's a king. Kings are good at lazing about and wasting people's time. Early. Like, I rolled too early for the cannonball I should have been rolling for. Because the problem is, that this is where we're gonna get into a bad loop because I'm gonna get impatient. Because, you know, this is again a case of a fight that's not really designed with respect for your time, necessarily. But it's also so that you have some breathing space. So it makes sense that there's these delays because it gives you a chance to react. But it also is bad for people like me that are interested in just go, 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 go. Because I'm ready to go, 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 but there's nowhere to go. If that makes sense. So eventually, a part of my brain disconnects, and it all just falls apart. I'm like, I don't need to do anything. But I do need to do something. But I don't need to do something. But I do, I don't, I do, I don't. And then just... reaction is not there. Like, even K.Rool's charge speed is not that much. Too early again, because the fucking cannonballs stay a threat even though they shouldn't be anymore. The thing is, your actual window, unless you make the jump between the cannonballs, is not that big. And that's the problem. And the fact that I'm constantly switching speeds between the two of them at the start of these fights is 100% fucking with me. Because unless I, like, actively switch the second I touch the barrel, we're gonna have that problem. I second-guessed the distance. I thought I wasn't gonna reach the land on him, so I pulled back, and then, you know, bad things happened. Yeah, part of it is I'm just genuinely too used to things giving me even less leeway than this. Which, even this game teaches you that to a certain degree, because a lot of things in some of the stages have, like, no leeway to them. Clearly making this harder than it needs to be on myself based on the fact that I'm just kind of stepping out of the way of the cannonballs here. So that's a thing I've learned now. Oh, wait, are you telling me I was like a hit away every time? Of course I was. Yep, there's the credits, so yeah, another 42-minute segment. I really thought that there was a whole world here. Wait. Oh, that's right. There is more, but only if you did 100%, I think. Oh no, he's not done yet. It was a fake out. And even though I was ready on the controls, it didn't take my input. Because I pressed jump. In case anybody was wondering, that crown just hit too fast for me to jump, I guess. Even though I pressed jump. Well, we know what we're getting into now. I forgot that there was a second phase to the fight. They actually got me with that one a little bit. I could tell that he was fighting when he started hopping away, but I didn't know what he was gonna do when he arrived over at the other end. So if I can just retain my full health through this, that would be ideal. Nope, I hesitated too much. Or I either hesitated too much or I didn't hesitate enough. It's technically both. And that's what makes statements like that difficult to follow through on. Just gotta read the spacing. Now the cannonballs are coming back. I went too soon. That's the problem with just doing the ground movement there, is you can't go too soon. So I keep getting antsy because I'm like, there's a cannonball about to land on my head, I need to move, and then I get clobbered. But hey, at least this won't be over too soon then. So the fact that you have to hit this guy like 8 times and then fight him again is kind of nasty. That's a little overkill for a situation where you only have 2 hit points, essentially. Because you don't even get a barrel or anything throughout all of this. Coming back now. There we go. Here's that. Now I just wait for the throw. One more. Come the fuck on! Yes, the cannonball that's clearly falling away can kill you. Mm-hmm. Sure thing, game. Sure thing. See, this is what I was talking about, though. It takes so long for all of this to unfold. And I know it's not actually that long, but it feels like an eternity when you're in between the cannonballs standing there waiting. Because it's that annoying time dilation of impatience. Where a few seconds feels like an eternity under the wrong circumstances. Now he's gonna eventually throw again, and now he's down to his last hit of this segment. It also has the extra debuff of the fact that I've now repeated this. I've lost count number of times. There we go. Also, trying to keep him on camera is a bitch sometimes. Is the camera, when you turn around, will suddenly yank way to the side. There we go, there's the fake credits again. Which you should get the clue that this is fake credits based on the fact that it's all Kremling names. And if you don't figure it out at that point, the end question mark might tip you off. Okay, that's how the hitbox for that works. Understood. God, that is annoying to avoid. I think I need to just duck after I hit him, because I think he'll clear me. But God, this is such a slog. Like, this is officially not difficult, this is just fucking tedious. But then again, Rare likes making long boss fights, don't they? Or at the very least, boss fights that feel like they take forever to accomplish. I don't remember the fight for DK64 being that bad. I'm more thinking of things like the Banjo-Kazooie fights against Grunty. And the Tooie fight, apparently, is also, like, kind of stupid long. Also, being down to one hit already, probably a death knell for this one. But at least I've got speed on my side here. Down he goes. If I get to this point... Oh, wait. What? I was so thrown off because I was expecting the credits to pop up again. I didn't realize they didn't do that every time. If I get past the first phase without taking a hit, I'm probably going to just put a save state down for our sanity. I think it's just a formality to get past this part at this point. We've done it more than once. I've proven that I can do it. Because otherwise, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Purists can go ahead and put an asterisk on the win there if they really want to. I don't care what they think anyway. Of course, that's assuming I can get back to there with both Kongs intact to begin with. And you can make the argument, but this teaches you consistency. Yes, consistency in a game that I'm not going to be playing after this fight is over. That's why it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not invalidating that as a skill to gain. But if there was a time and place to be learning patience, this ain't it. This ain't the one. Down he goes again. Now he'll get up and start hopping. Now, how many hits do you take at this part? That's the better question. What the fuck is that jump pattern? I really kind of assumed, you know, maybe you'd take a hit or two at that phase to be reasonable. No, it looks like it's a full, like, same amount of hits as the first phase situation here. Because God forbid they not expect you to retain health for a long time. And the thing is, I'm caught in this awkward position of like, if I take a moment to start talking about something, I'm going to get screwed again. So I can't really commentate over this. It's taking just enough focus. Because otherwise this is going to take even longer to get through, but there's also just enough of a pause that I know it's not that interesting to watch me just stare at this either. So it's like, what the fuck do I do here? Oh, come on. I should have been clear of that. And admittedly, if I was using Diddy Kong, I probably would have been. Didn't matter though, because King takes up half the screen and lands on my head again. It's not actually taking up that much, but you get the point. Like, his whole thing is he's sitting here throwing his crown around. And if that ain't a statement in and of itself, I don't know what is. Self-proclaimed king throwing his crown around everywhere. It's two. Don't get hit by the crown. You know, what's stopping us from just catching the crown and declaring ourselves king? Too fucking early again. That's a thing that apparently is a concept. Yeah, I was fucked on that one. I hesitated too much. Now we're gonna have to see the fake credits again, because God forbid they have any respect for the player's time. Look, we're back here again. Hooray! Wait, that should have been over 20 minutes ago. Like, I don't want to sit here and complain about this, but I have nothing else to feel about this. And like I said, I can't have a detailed conversation because it will take just enough of my focus that I will not be able to complete this garbage segment. Like, this is definitely not the most offensive final boss I've seen. There are definitely worse ones, and we've played some of them. Cough, cough, Circle of the Moon's Dracula fight. But it's still, like, unnecessarily long. That's its only issue, is I feel like this could have been half as many hits, and it would have been fine. Like 2 hits per phase and you would have been good to go already. But instead, every phase is like 3 hits instead, it seems. And that's just enough to outstay its welcome when you have 2 hits yourself. Also, while the credits are rolling here, the quote-unquote credits, that's where the save state's gonna go. So that we don't have to do that boring first phase again. Because again, it is an exercise in repeated execution. And while, sure, some people may enjoy repeatedly doing the same thing 1,000 times, if I'm gonna do that, I'd rather be doing a regular day job again at that point, because at least I'd be getting paid. So get used to seeing this little credit sequence over and over again. Because if people are worried about, oh, it's gonna make it so much faster because he's not doing the whole fight again, you can sit there and watch that because that's about as exciting as the fight's gonna be every time. I keep getting jumped on immediately because I misjudged the distance on that first fucking jump. These jumps would be a lot easier to avoid if the camera was more consistent. Like, if the camera was just locked in place, I feel like I would have no issue dodging him, like, at all. But it isn't consistent at all. It's wobbling. And it drives me crazy. Yep, of course, I was one hit away. Of course I was fucking one hit away a dozen times. So we only had to use the save state once. Well done, Donkey, my boy. Who would have thought a young whippersnapper like you would have beaten that bunch of no-good Kremlings? You've made an old man proud. Go and look in your hoard. I think you'll be in for a surprise. If I had been playing, I'd have found everything. I'm old, fuck you. I'm sure there must be some bonus rooms you haven't found. And I'm not going to find. Look, the horde, it's back, hooray! Because remember, all of this was because K.Rool took Donkey Kong's banana horde. If that had never happened, that fight never would have happened. And that's... There's a lot of lessons in that already, isn't there? But that is our first game of this year. Which I forgot to format the new section, so... While you guys look at the credits, I'm gonna do that right quick. Just in time for the hour mark, too, so we'll actually be able to swap cleanly to Mario 2. So there we go, that's marked on the board for 2026. And I will, of course, let the credits finish rolling. Plump. Oh, I didn't even realize the minecart Kremlings had a specific name. I just figured they were the critter in a cart. Croc Croc. Russia, with his two different flavors. And there's the bosses coming up. Very naughty because he's a bigger naughty. Master Necky. Queen Bee. Really naughty because he's a faster, nastier naughty. Gumdrum. Master Necky Sr. And then King K.Rool himself. Like, all in all, this is not that long a game. You will struggle to get through it because some of the stages are really nasty. But even then, the game itself is not brutally difficult, I wouldn't say. It is difficult. Like, unless you grew up with the game or spent a while with it, it's going to have a lot of surprises for you, and it is going to kick you around. But I would not at any point say it's a bad game. I do question the decision of how long the final fight is, but again, it's the final fight, so it makes a degree of sense that they want it to be a bit more than the average boss fight. So, like, from that aspect, it makes sense as well. But just considering the amount of health you have, it really does become a little mean to expect you to hit him, what was it, 10 times? Without getting hit twice. It's not that bad. Is, say you get 5 hits in, and you're down to 1 hit. You could still reasonably get the other 5. And we also have to remember that I'm dealing with the debuff of having to commentate at the same time I'm doing it. And splitting my attention, so there's the extra layer there. And maybe I wouldn't mind how many hits he takes as much if there was A, more happening, or B, it just happened a bit faster. But I would not say it's bad design for that. That's just, I don't like it. Just to be clear about that. Because it starts to slide a little bit into endurance fight territory in my mind. And we've talked about endurance fights from how I feel about that to death. We don't need to have that conversation again. Also, those credits actually took long enough that the entire ad ran. But it's not like this